Hello everyone, we're here to quilt the two inner borders of our coffee quilt today. We're just about done. It's amazing. We've just got the outer border and the binding to do and we're finished and we can start enjoying this lovely little quilt that we've created. Now if you haven't done the piano key border, you're going to have to wait for everybody that needed the piano key demonstration done. But today we're going to do the little 4 patches that outline the coffee block, these 4 patches, and our coffee cup blocks. So there's several ways we can do this, but first I'm going to talk to you about the problems we had with this quilt. We had fullness in the coffee pot block, right, that we've corrected by densely quilting the background. But the 4 patches now were the right size. So we don't want to like shrink them too much, so the quilting there is going to be very light, just basically enough to stabilize it and make sure it stays in place. That's it. So this is going to be a very quick little finish here. So how we're going to handle the 4 patches in our coffee quilt is I'm going to do this outer line first and then do the one that runs along the design line that runs right through the middle of the 4 patches. Very quick, very, very fast, we're done. Then when it comes to the coffee cup blocks and the cream and sugar bowls, I'm going to give you what I do when I'm quilting, because I'm trying to quilt something usually as quickly as I can to move it out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide ahead of time what I'm going to do based on color or what it is. Like, let's say for instance it's a background. I could do either stars, let's say stars, or wavy lines, right? Or I could alternate them. And that's very, very quick, very, very quick to do, because then you're just going around the outside of the block, highlighting your coffee cup or the mug inside, and then you're doing all the background, then you go back in, do the mug, and then you move on to the next block. So then we have to decide, okay, are we going to do all the same pattern within the block? So let's say your reds, you've got red, black, cream, and then like things like yellow, orange, the oddball colors. So you could do C's in the red, just C's in the red, L's in the black, right? Because you know how to do cursive C's and L's, right? Cream, you could do just lines that go up and down, vertical lines. And for the oddball stuff, like your hits of orange, your hits of yellow, your hits of blue, you could do horizontal lines, right? Or you can play whatever suits your fancy when you get there, whatever design you're really hoping to try, right? So what we're going to do right away is I'm going to show you all the different quilting foots you have. Now some machines work better with other things, so come on a little closer here. We'll show you all the feet we're going to use. Okay, now that we're here, normally I do my walking foot. This is where I stabilize my lines and my edges, and everything, keep everything nice and flat. This is what I use my walking foot for. I'll also use it to echo design lines, and I'll basically use this foot if I'm doing a lot of straight lines. This is the hopping foot for my machine. Now everybody's hopping foot for their machine is different, but basically this thing bounces up and down like this because this little lever here rides above where you twist in your needle, right? So this is what creates the up and down movement, is that needle going up and down. This one is also, it's got the little lines. I don't know if you can see the little lines on the foot, but what happens is this one is supposed to hop, but it's too tall for my machine. So basically it acts like a ruler foot because it will follow a line very easily. I can follow the lines very easily with it, but it doesn't hop because it's not exactly the right foot for my machine. This one is my ruler foot. Now some people, what they do is they put their ruler foot on and they do everything with it. Because once you get your ruler foot adjusted to the right height, because it's got a slot normally there, if you can see that slot really well, and they put that screw, they put it so exactly so it acts like a hover foot, right? And you just hover along, and you can put a ruler up beside it, and not fear having that ruler slip under and breaking your needle and breaking your ruler. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to stabilize those 4 patches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the outside part first. This way my hands can pull, flatten this out this way, right? So as I'm going around, I'm going to start at the corner. And I am going to start at the corner, which is way down here. So now, as I've got this, okay, I don't want it falling off. I don't want it falling off the edge of my machine. And I want to make sure that this side here is not in drag position. If this is pointing down like this, it's going to create drag and your stitches aren't going to look good, right? So you want this to be up like this, right? Or away. So I'm going to not do this line first. I'm going to do this line right along the coffee cup so I can flatten out whatever I need to flatten out. So I start by putting my foot down, my walking foot down, and I drop my foot, and I'm hoping I'm catching I forget to put my bobbin in. Oh dear. Okay, let's get that bottom thread up. And it's not doing it. Hang on. Hang on. We'll see what's wrong. And it's in there. Okay. Let's try this again. Sorry about that. I had technical difficulties. Nope. Okay, we're gonna have to cut and find out what's wrong. Why my bobbin thread won't come up. Okay, we got it up. I don't know what happened. It came up first time as soon as we were off camera. Maybe this old girl's being a little camera shy today. So I make a little back stitch and I keep my thread out of the way. And I'm just going to trim that off because I did a back stitching there. And I don't have to bury my thread with a thread lasso. So we're just going to keep this nice and flat as we can. Now, okay, so I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll meet you back here when I'm doing the center one. Okay, so we have gone around the outside of the 4 patches, around the far outside of the coffee cups, and around the piano key border. I had my walking foot on, so I figured I might as well do it while I'm here. That makes the quilting a little more efficient. So I've got my top thread here, and I'm going to try and pull up my bottom thread again. Okay, here we go. Some days machines are temperamental, and you just got to roll with the punches sometimes, you know? And here we go. I'm just going to put that out of the way, and I'm stitching right in the ditch. Now, as I get to the corner, I want to turn here, right where this pin is. So I want to get as close to it as I can without running over my pin, because running over my pin would be bad. Now everything here is going to stay very flat. Now the trick here is you over quilt the parts that are full and you under quilt the parts that are a little on the tight side. And the 4 patches are on the tight side compared to coffee pot and some of the coffee cup blocks, right? So you have to kind of work with what you've got here and know where you're at, right? So now I've got my needle in the down position. I can take a stitch or two back and then go forward and put my needle back down right where it was, just to add a little bit of extra security. Now I'm going to put my foot up and I'm going to pivot with my needle down. And that's how you end up with a nice continuous line that you can stitch on. Then you put your foot down and you just scrape out that little pin mark and you continue all the way around until you hit your next pin. There we go. Oops, can you see that? There. So here's our next pin. The fun part of quilting, struggling with a big oversized quilt. Okay, so you take that pin, you loosen it up, because this is basically the only thing that's loose here, is these two little areas, right? And you wouldn't even really, it's probably got enough, you could probably get away with not doing this because it's such a short run. Like this run is only 4 inches across, right? But, you know, your cotton does shift over time. So let me come back when I get all the way around and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the coffee cups. Okay, so we got all the way around the 4 patches in the middle, and that's all we've done is stitch in the ditch. Now everything seems to lie really smooth and straight compared to the coffee pot block. This has already been secured on both sides, so basically the only thing that's loose in this block is this little bit here, from here to here, and this is loose, right? So you don't have a lot that you've got to like smash down. So here is the plan, right? So on the background, I'm going to alternate now between stars and wavy lines. The fabric that is predominantly red or has a red background, I'll either do Caesar hearts. The black is going to be L's or leaf shapes. The creams are going to be vertical lines or LEs, L's and E's, like cursive L's and E's. The oddball stuff like the purple, the blue and the yellow and the orange and the browns that are here, we're going to do either horizontal lines or wishbones, or you can do whatever you want, or do what you can do, right? I mean, this is my way of thread painting by color, right? Like, so I know exactly now what I'm going to do around all of the coffee pot or all of the coffee cup blocks, and I don't have to think about this anymore. All I have to do is do it. Now I can alternate my backgrounds between stars and wavy lines, and it's going to work. It's going to work out just fine. You know, if I have 2 different reds on the same coffee pot or on the same coffee cup, I can use one in C's and the other in hearts. It doesn't matter. It'll be fine. But I do have my walking foot installed on. This is the one that hops up and down. It'll go up and down as we go. Now I am going to drop my feed dogs, and you'll have to drop your feed dogs according to your manufacturer's instructions for your sewing machine. Now some people, usually your feed dogs, my feed dogs are underneath by my bobbin. Some feed dogs are a little button on the back of the machine. Read your manual, make sure you know how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the corner of the block, and I'm going to try and drop my needle down right in the corner so I can secure that corner. And I missed it. There we go. And I pull my thread up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my little thing down, and then I'm just going to do a little tack stitch and then hold this as flat as I can so we can go right across. And I get my thread out of the way. And I just take my time, not pull too quickly or anything. My sewing machine doesn't like sewing this way. I do better lines when I go up and down versus side to side. So your sewing machine might do something different too. But all I'm trying to do is secure the square. And now I'm going to start my little star design. Okay. Alright. Oops. The thread came out of the feed. Okay, there it is. So I'm going to start about in the middle, and I'm going to go down just ever so slightly. Just go down, and I'm going to hit about a certain point like this, and I'm just going to make little stars. And then go down to the next. And this sounds like that thing is hitting my, and it's making it loose too. Okay, well, we'll get that figured out. Basically now you're just adding texture. And you can kind of eyeball how far down you're going to go. And how big your little star points are going to be. Yeah, it does sound like it's hitting. I wonder. No, it's not hitting there. Well, I don't know. Okay. It does sound like it's hitting, but it shouldn't. But sometimes this is just a plastic foot, right? So. Try to think of your stars as wallpaper. So now, you want to offset those stars a little bit. And now you're at the coffee cup mug, the handle, right? So what you do is you can scoot up and around. And I would take this opportunity to scoot all the way around. That's me. I'm just going over lines just a bit here to just secure my mug down. Okay. It's taking me a while to get around this block, but I'll speed up around the background and then I'll be back to show you what to do in the mug. Okay, I finished the background. I went all the way around the background and stars. I started the handle and then I just immediately went into the cup, back into the cup. So I put leaves in the black parts here that are smaller. And now I'm going to put C's in here, and in the black I'm going to put L's, cursive L's. And I am sorry, but we can't see where this thing is hitting and making noise, and I'm not sure I can stand to listen to it for very much longer. So here we're just going to go up into a C, a backwards C, and you kind of hook that loop a little bit. Oh. And go up to travel along the side to go up to the black. And this is where you're going to put your cursive L's. And go all the way, looping back down. And now you're going to I'm going to break thread. I'm going to try and see if I can't find a quieter foot. But that's how you do it with a hopping foot. I mean, it's pretty simple. You got to get the back thread off as well. And it's cut. There we go. And then you just move to the next block. You know, you continue doing this. Now, instead of putting stars here, what I would do is I would change up my pattern in the background for wavy lines. You know, I could do, whatever I needed to do here on the handle. But it's up to you what you want to do. And remember, you practice doing these motifs, right? I mean, the more you practice, the better you get. But do what you can do in the meantime. Like, if only thing you can do is stitch in the ditch, stitch in the ditch. It's perfectly fine to finish a quilt that way. It's not a problem. So this ticking on this machine here with this hopping foot on is just driving me crazy today, and I don't want to have you guys suffer through any more of this. So hopefully we're going to find out what's wrong here. It might be that the hopping foot needs a little adjustment. That means just, pinching the middle part in the back just a bit to keep it away from the needle. I mean, I'm going to be working on this all week now, but it's very quick. But the most important thing I want to share with you is that you do what you can do here. If you want to try out new designs, it's your quilt. Play, practice. You know how to take them out. I mean, if you have to, people won't notice it. But the idea is to build beautiful texture on your quilt. So let me say goodbye to you today, and I hope you come back next week, and hopefully this will be done, and I'll show you how to do the piano keys. We have some fun ideas in there. So you take care. Okay, bye. If you have questions about what you saw in this video, or you have ideas for content or something you want to see us do, please put those comments in the description below. But also, while you're there, like, share, and subscribe with your friends. That would really help us out. Okay, I want to thank you and have a great day.